All right, all right. Ready and go. Welcome. Selamat pagi. This is Me versus Me Weekly Reflections, October edition, episode 1. How did we do last week? We move that into the room. How do we do for last week? How do we do the week before? And how are we going to go moving forward? So let's go into it step by step. So first off, what did we do last week? We ended the last week on another loss. Unfortunately, the market was just choppy, and it's something that is a weakness of mine. I did say we know our edge, but we also know where our edge isn't, which is where we need to do a little bit more work. And it's evident that this type of movement, which is ranging into a bigger range, is actually a slightly weak recognition for my end at this point in time. I've recognized both incorrectly as sellers when in fact they were both clean buyers. So something for me to work on, but I cannot be upset from the fact that I ended up last week with a good execution throughout. The quality of the execution is aside, but I did have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades, and that was what I wanted to come to the table with. I want to do 5 full trades to see where I land. Contrast that to the previous week where I only had 1, 2 trades and ended up being a break even, and I took 3 days off due to unforeseen circumstances. So with that comparison in mind, I had 1 profit last week, 1 loss, 2 profit, 1 loss, 2 profit, 2 loss, 2 profit, 3 loss, which resulted in a net P&L of negative 0.55R, which in the grand scheme of things is not a massive change. It is lost ground, you could say, but it is a week well spent and well executed in my books. How well executed? Let's go on to the scorecard. So over here we see the scoring for last week. 2 trades, 2 good trades, blah blah blah, and only 0. So I said this week I'm going to focus on my pre-session and my sleep prep, and I'm going to do alternate day stretching, which I didn't do. I only had 1 day of exercise and not even a run. So these need to be improved this week, in the next week coming. But furthermore, I need to do a little bit more homework on my edge and refine my consolidation moves. So this is the report for last week. 5 days, 5 trades, 2 wins, 3 losses, negative 0.55R. What I did right, I showed up to every day. Followed my processes and exit triggers. I was tempted to save some profit, some losses on Thursday and Friday, exiting early, exiting partials. And those actually do come back, especially when I take the slightly incorrect bias, or especially in consolidation, when my bias turns out to be wrong. I get a very strong feeling of that. So I feel that is something I need to be able to turn into a process more, but it's not something I wanna break out of the current processes immediately. My mistakes, the first mistake was Tuesday, 95% TP, and then back to SL, so we could preventable with BE after 90% TP hit. It doesn't save the loss, but it doesn't catch the full TP because I'm not introducing partials yet, but it does avoid getting the full loss. And with that full loss avoided, I would have got 0.45R this week. And little changes like this does count, right? Secondly, what else did I do wrong? Areas that I can improve. Consolidation, execution, Thursday and Friday. I could have dropped 2.3. And I would have saved a whole bunch of dollars while risking the same R. Maybe 0.6, maybe 0.3. Maybe that I think maybe I need to specify a bit more. So in general, that is my report for the week. I can't say that I'm excited about the outcome, but I'm pretty satisfied about my inputs, and that is very, very much the key I wanna stress out here. Habits and routine wise, I want to make sure I stretch well every day, and I want to make sure I get my run times 2 in this week for sure. In terms of my refinement, I'm gonna do review, backtest, 3 month, 2 quarters. All right. So that's my reporting done. Let's head back to the chart and into the statistics breakdown. So what happened in October? Let's go to October first. So September has closed out. We had a 71% win rate over 17 trades. In the journal, it was a 76% win rate over 17 trades. So there was a slight delta there. But in general, I'm on point with my system. 0% over trade, error rate 6%. Basically as clean as it gets. October has so far started a bit shaky. We're down 565 at 33% win rate, meaning only 1 win out of 3 trades, which is exactly what the journal said. And my error rate is high because those 2 losses were avoidable in terms of bias. Now, when we look at patterns, we are sort of repeating the pattern of last October. Hopefully it doesn't end up as a rate, and hopefully not an equal rate to September. So I do not want to see a negative 7K here. And there are ways that we will be preventing that with the processes that we have now. In terms of error rate for this month, we are actually above the error rate average of the whole year of 33%. So I'm gonna start getting a few trades right. In terms of win rate, we're below the average of 50% for the whole year. Over trading, we're still at 0. So that part is very much in check. But other than that, the statistics wise, it's still too little to make any firm conclusions. But one thing is for sure, we will not be going into too many trades. We will not be seeing too many red trading months. So that is it for this week's of reflection. We know that we are slightly in the bust cycle, and it's about how long we can last in this market mode until we get back into our profits. It's always a battle between turning up and not turning up, avoiding the pain or chasing the pleasure. There are days that I do turn up excited because I'm chasing the wins and I'm expecting to win. There are days that I don't want to turn up because I know that the market is not great for me. Yet, I do need to turn up, but I do need to turn up with the right intention. Unlike the last 2 sessions, Thursday and Friday, where I was just more eager to execute rather than find the right execution and at the right execution risk. Certainly, there were points that I reflect now on that videos that I would have said it was slightly sideways. I should have recognized that. I should have been doing 0.3% for both trades and not suffer as much of a hit. That's it. I am totally okay with all the decisions I made this week. And I'm looking forward to taking 2 days of break. I'll be making a monthly review of September later for video for tomorrow. and then I'm going to be taking a break. I understand now that resting and recovering is part of the performance. On top of that, the third R, rewarding myself for attending to the processes, is something that I want to do as well. So we are closing this weekly reflection on a flat note. It's not a high, it's not a low either, and we don't hope that this goes to a new low next week. But this is as low as it goes, I think, barring any coach intervention. I will pick myself up. I will be getting the right processes in again. That's a promise from me to me and me to you. And I'm going to end this session with a reminder of process over outcome. Process precedes performance. We'll leave that with you for the rest of the weekend. I'll see you in my monthly review tomorrow.